Peace, family. This is Dr. Sadiki Baye coming to you again as usual on Saturday, every Saturday on time, to share with you what the Creator has blessed me with in honor of the ancestors. And I'd like to share with you, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that was given to me. And you don't even have to go through what I've been through to get it. I'm willing to share it with you. That's what you call true giving. When you learn, you teach, and you don't even need a degree. So, with that in mind, we're going to do some deep diving today. We're going to do some deep rooted things today in reference to knowledge, awareness. And it's my honor and my privilege to share it with you. To prayerfully, it will lead, guide, direct, and take you or inspire, encourage, and motivate you to go to deeper levels so that you can get a bigger picture on our reality as the original people. So today, this is exciting to me. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between prejudice and racism. Prejudice and racism, because I can remember when I was coming up that the elders always said prejudice. But it was deeper than that. So we're going to start off with prejudice. So, what is prejudice? Prejudice is any preconceived opinion or feelings of something, whether it's favorable or unfavorable. Also, it can mean an unfavorable opinion or feelings given beforehand, or without knowledge, without reason, without thought, and without truth about something. Now, also, it can mean an unreasonable opinion, feeling, belief, or idea of something of a hostile nature regarding an ethnic, a race, a religion, or a social group. And I'm saying this slowly so that you can get it. These are preconceived things. So these are things that's in people's minds there. It's more of a thought or feeling kind of thing. But when we get to racism, we'll see it's a whole different ball game. So I want to give you the differentiation between those two levels. One is mostly, like I said before, feelings and opinions, but racism is what you call feelings and action. So, with that in mind, given that those definitions of prejudice, that means preconceived, that means beforehand, or something that you just go on ahead of the game before you even get the truth about the matter. So, so I would like to share with you some synonyms so that you can get a better picture and understanding of what prejudice is. And the synonyms are words and terms that are similar to a particular word or term. Now, the synonyms for prejudice is preconception, partiality, bias, influence, or dislike of a person or something or somebody. Now, I also would like to share with you antonyms, and antonyms is the other side of that word, the positive side, the other word, and the antonym for prejudice. I can think of three right offhand. judgment, fairness, and impartiality. Those are the three that I can bring about right away. So be there with me, family. And I pray that you would take what I'm giving you and go even deeper with it. So motivation is the key to it all. So with that in mind, the best definition of prejudice is a bias or preconceived feelings, opinions, and belief in a hostile way regarding ethnicity or an ethnic group or race or a religion or a social group, and or making making up your mind and creating generalizations about something that you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Now, I'm sure that a lot of us know some of those people. They're making up their mind and making generalizations of something they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. So what we call that back in the day is putting your foot in your mouth. And some people don't even care if they look bad. They just want attention. And I'm sure that some of us know people like that. So some prejudices, such as skin color, your religion, and your nationality, they can actually lead to discrimination. It can lead to hatred, and it can even lead to wars. That's what's going on today. And there's one particular people who's creating all of this. Those people who came down from those mountains, the Caucasus Mountains. They were uncivilized people. So when they came down out of those mountains, they came down and set their foot on solid ground. And we gave them civilization. I know that a lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't even want to hear that because people don't like the truth. But only the truth can set you free. So check it out for yourself. And prayerfully, you can go ahead on and show your self-approval. And lean not to your own misunderstanding. So these people came down, and all they want to do is fight, take over things. And an example of that is when Moses led the Jews out of Egypt. Them Egyptians told you got to get up out of here. You're no good for us. So Moses let them out, and they've been nomadic people ever since. So you're talking about the Jews were nomadic, and you're talking about the Arabs were nomadic. Wherever they go, they take over. And they justify it by saying that God said to go down there and do that. It's almost like somebody coming into my house and discovering everything and say it's mine. Are you for real? But that's what's happening. That's why everywhere they go, they want to fight. They want to take over. They want to dominate. They're barbarics. So we gave them civilization. You can't even find our beginning. That's how original we are. Can't even find our beginning. So if we are the original people, we had to come directly from God. We are the chosen ones. We are the original people. We are the natives. We are the aborigines. We are all that. We are children of God. So we are little gods. That's why Jesus and all them came on the scene and say, if you believe as I believe, then my Father in heaven is your Father. It's all about a belief. It's not about a person. It's a belief. It's a mental thing. If your mind can conceive, if your mind can conceive, you can achieve. We have to say that over and over again as an affirmation because it's true. So now, all people who are involved need to encourage settlement discussions without even forfeiting your position in the matter. We have to have these discussions, but people don't even want to make discussions with us because they already know that if we have discussions, they will be exposed. So they discourage discussions and just do what I tell you. Just listen to what I'm saying and you better suck it in and all of this and all of that so that you can get this piece of paper that we call a degree, which qualifies you to get a job. What? If that ain't slavery, what is it? And once you get that piece of paper, it's not even guaranteed you're going to get a job. Look at what's happening today. It's even backfiring on the very ones who created this mess. And they're totally embarrassed and humiliated. But as soon as we say something about it, they always complaining and so forth and so on. So let's go further into this prejudice thing, which is nothing but an opinion and a feeling. So stereotyping people can lead to prejudice. It can lead to prejudice from an experience. Most white folks don't even understand why they hate us. They just had an experience and it's mostly been passed down through generations from their parents, the real racists, the real barbarics, the murderers, rapists. I'm telling it like it is. And I'm going to give you a book as a suggestion on what to read, and it will bring some more light into what I'm saying. I know that telling the truth or accepting the truth or learning or growing or transforming or adjusting or moving or metamorphosing is not comfortable. It can be painful because we've been lied to for so much that if you hear something different, it bothers you. And it can be the most simple thing that you're saying. So family, prejudice can make the victim feel that they're not even human. You know any people like that? That don't even feel like they're fully human? Because they programmed us for 20 to 25 generations. It's a wonder that any of us can think. But God always declared that there are going to be some remnants that's here at all times. And I want to be in that number. But you have to qualify yourself. Oh, yeah. Everything in life is earned, good or bad. And most of the things we do is unconscious. They say 80% of what we do is unconscious. We just do it out of habit. But we have to be more conscious. We have to be more deliberate. We have to be more intentional in order to make sure that we don't take nothing for granted. Yes. So family, these bullies, when I was coming up, I never even heard the word bully. We was tease each other, but bullying, that goes to a whole different level there. It's a power thing going on here. It's a control thing that's going on here. So through our journey of dealing with these people, these white folks in particularly, and the Jews say that they're not white, they're Jewish, so we got to go there too. They're not exempt. They're the ones who really are in control. Anybody who controls the economy controls everything and everybody. Check it out. I know you don't want to hear certain things that I'm saying, but it's all right. It's all right. Check it out for yourself. So, since we have an idea of what prejudice is, which um, is based on a preconceived opinion or feelings, as I said, let's go to racism. And racism is is deeper than that. So racism is a feeling or action. See, we talking about action here of hatred and bigotry. Action of hatred and bigotry towards a person or particular people. And what they did is they made us feel more inferior than they are. And they even devised a strategy on making the victim feel that it's their fault. That's some heavy programming. But some of us got to find a way to come up out of that. Because we're losing our future, our children. There's no love with respect there to them to the point where they won't harm themselves or one another. We keep blaming each other. That's some heavy programming, turning the table, flipping it as though we victimize ourselves. Wow. And making us feel not even fully human. Are you for real? So I like to share with you also that during slavery, it was intentional with white folks to make us feel more inferior than they are. And they made us feel like we are less than human, even less than an animal. Because don't forget, they love dogs. Dog is a man's best friend. Are you for real? An animal is my best friend. But I understand. See, understanding can take the sting out of things. That's why God said, above all I get understanding. I can understand why they saying that, or say that, or believe that. Because when they was up in those mountains, the dogs helped them hunt the meat that was their diet. So the dog helped them to survive. That's why they love them so much, kissing them in the mouth. And all animals have corona, has a virus in them that is counterproductive to us. And they kissing them in the mouth and feeding them at the table and laying in the bed with them and all of that. When I was little, no animals came in the house. We called them yard dogs. And it's true. They were like guards. They guarded us. They protected us. Now we want to be like them. And that's why everything they get, as far as diseases and everything, we get it too. We have assimilated to the enemy. And assimilation means become one with them. And the target for that is the females. Because the females have an assimilative nature to become one with authority. But unfortunately, the average one don't look at the black man as authority because they blaming the black man for everything that ever happened to us. So we have to really go deep diving to see the truth about our reality and what happened to us and how we got to the point where we are now. There's a cause for every effect, and it's always correlated. There's no such thing as luck, chance, coincidence, and that kind of stuff. There's only cause and effect. But one thing about those other people, they deal with effects and not causes. They deal with symptoms and not prevention. They can't make no money. It's all about control. In a devilish way. The history proves that. So I know that people are mad at me for what I'm saying, but it doesn't matter to me because I'm representing. I'm honoring and representing the ones before us, the ancestors, and the elders who are still here. And we need to do all we can to put a smile on their face while they're here so they won't feel that everything was in vain that they went through. So I'm here to represent, to take it to another level. And that's what I'm going to do to my last breath. I'm like James Brown. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. A lot of us are pretending, but we got to wake up. We got to man up. We got to woman up. We got to mind up. We have to own up so that our future will have a chance. But we keep blaming them. How can you blame the effect when the effect came from a cause? And we are the cause. Whether it was conscious or unconscious, there's always something that is called redemption. So we can redeem ourselves by doing what? Better. What's better than better? Better. There's always room for improvement. So family, let me share something with you. In 1787, there was an event that happened in Philadelphia. It was called the Philadelphia Convention. And what happened in that convention was that all lawmakers, which were not us, mind you, came together. And they made a law, not a policy. They made a law that stated that black folks are 3/5 of a human being. And they did that based on taxation and representation. We had no rights. We weren't even human. We were property. Property. And they still treat us the same way. And some of us are acting that way. Because freedom is not given, freedom is taken. No one can give you freedom, family. It's all up to you. It's all up to us. We got in this mess together, and we got to devise a strategy to come out together. And we keep talking about reparations. Reparations only are given to people who became one. We are all over the place. Some say I'm this, some say I'm that. No, we got to be under one umbrella. We got the same enemy and the same problems. Of course, they handpick certain ones of us and they saying, look at what we doing for you. You ain't doing nothing because the ones that you handpick have your interests at heart. When you never had nothing and the enemy offer you something, you'll sell your soul just to survive. So we have to understand the reality of our reality. And we got to study. We got to take the time to do that. And prayerfully, a lot of us did that during these times of COVID-19. God calmed everything down to give us an opportunity to regroup. And most of us were frustrated being home. Oh, I'm bored. Oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I'm suicidal. Just like the other people. They can't take nothing. So we must learn how to mind our business. But I guess if you don't have no business, you minding somebody else's. So we have to understand that God put us here to give civilization and to everything and everybody and to name everything and everybody. So it ain't nothing until we call it. But they flipped it on us. And they flipped it on us through religion. They studied us. And then they devised all of these different religions and everybody feel they got the only answer. That's crazy. And then they had the gun in the other hand to make sure that you better believe what I tell you. And that's why a lot of the pimps in the pulpit in these institutions now, they just following through of our programming. They don't teach us nothing. They got us stuck in the first grade. Like I said before with the 10 Commandments. That's for beginners. Give me some of the advanced stuff of righteousness. of thinking, transformation, order, balance, learning about the cosmic forces, the principles of life. They don't give you that. They keep telling us we sinners and wretches. That's ridiculous. So family, instead of them bringing us together, they're keeping us as individuals. Because religion is not, because the church is not the building, the church is the people. So with that in mind, again, in 1787, the Philadelphia Convention is when all the lawmakers came together, and they weren't us, to declare that we were 3/5 of a man, or 3/5 of a person or human being. And that was because of taxation and representation. It is what it is. So they made it as though that we were inferior intellectually. And let me share another thing with you. In 1994, wasn't that long ago, there was this book that I'm getting ready to mention to you that was written. And it was called, and some of you probably know and heard about it and probably even read it. It was called The Bell Curve. The Bell Curve, which was written by Charles Mary, and Richard Herrnstein. Sound like two Jews to me. They developed this IQ test, and which was based on their culture and their ways of life. And then they gave it to us and said that, well, black folks are intellectually inferior genetically. Ain't this something? Now, on the other hand, if we created an IQ test and gave it to them, they would fail flat out. Even worse than we fail in their stuff. That's why they made the laws, and not policy, they made the laws that we weren't able to read. How can you know anything if you're not allowed to read or even think? So they made all of these racist statements that we are inferior genetically because we didn't know what they knew about themselves. Well, we're not white folks. We're not chickens, we're eagles. Even though both of them are birds. But they're not going to tell us we're eagles. I said this many times. Because eagles eat chickens. You think they're going to tell us that? Oh, no. They're not going to tell us that. And we complain and bitching and complain about, oh, they're not teaching black history. Well, I don't care if they teach it or not. It's up to us to learn about who we are. You think the enemy going to tell you who we are? If they tell us who we are, they have to tell on themselves. They have to expose themselves. You think they're going to do that? No. That's why they sabotage all of our activities, like Black Lives Matter. You have all white groups marching at times and saying Black Lives Matter, when in fact they are the problem. See how they play both sides of the fence? And we get all emotional about it. Oh, well, all white folks is not bad. Well, that's not the point. All snakes don't bite right away, but stick around. Yeah. The liberal ones are the most dangerous ones because they play both sides of the fence. It is what it is. And we trying to prove, well, all white folks are not bad. It doesn't matter to me. The key is what are we doing? Are we developing community? That's our only solution, community, because we tried everything else. Voting and all this and all that, they ain't gonna do nothing. They'll pick joker up in there looking like us, and they ain't gonna do nothing for us. But we happy that they're there. Get all emotional. but yet nothing changes, except for things get worse. Please listen to what I'm saying, because it's true. And the evidence speaks for itself. So I don't have to speak out of emotions and all of that. I'm speaking the truth. So, family, in 1994, the bell curve. Be aware that all of these lawmakers got together. I mean, the two Jews wrote this book, The Bell Curve, and said that we are inferior, when in fact it's a social problem. How can we know what they know when they deny us for even participating or knowing that? It was against the law to read or to even think, or you'll be killed. So we had to fake the funk. Some of us understood, and we were smiling, but that smile wasn't really a smile. So racism creates power dynamics. And I like to share with you, read this to you, because I don't want to miss a syllable or a word, because it's so deep. So bear with me with this. Open up your ears and open up your minds to receive what I'm going to give you. It says, and this is what I wrote, that racism creates power dynamics that follow the patterns of perceived imbalance, which are exploited in order to preserve feeling of superiority in the dominant race and inferiority in the subservient race, even to blame the victims of oppression for their own situations. What? This is what they have done and still doing, and we must stop it by coming together and create our communities, common unity. So, family, when you feel less than, then your efforts will be low. If you feel less than, your efforts going to be less than. So we must stand up, lift one another, encourage one another, motivate one another, inspire one another. So with that in mind, I'd like to suggest to you to read this book, The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. It's a deep book. And also the Egyptian Book of the Dead. This is where they got all these religions from us, and turned them against us. So family, this is my give back to you this Saturday. And I pray that you go on YouTube and view my other videos that have some serious topics. With that in mind, family, I love you, I bless you, and I want you to prosper. Do your best and let God do the rest. Stay strong and keep your faith where it belongs. Family, keep your lights on and keep them bright at all times. Hotep, Baraka, I love you. Happy new journey, family, and be safe. Dr. Sadiki Baye.